Huh? Friday, October 7th, 2022. Today on the Daily Review, we discuss a horror movie from France from 2004 called Calvaíre. I think I'm pronouncing that right. If not, the translation is The Ordeal. Kind of interesting, actually, the title, even on the American release. Calvaire or Calvare or however it is pronounced is prominent, and usually if they're gonna, you know what I mean, it's a little bit interesting. They like want you to know it's foreign, that's like part of the marketing of it. And because normally they would, if they're trying to market over here, they would just call it The Ordeal. Anyway, which is obviously the translation. Wow, boring review already. Okay, this is an awesome movie. It has very poor reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got like a 50% or maybe lower. But that's because generally people are stupid. No, I'm just kidding. Not tons of stuff happens in the movie. And although it's got so many horrific things, not a lot of horrific things happen on screen. So I think that like real gore hounds are like, oh, you really missed the potential of how gory that could have been. But like, have you ever seen like a really, really gory movie that was like any good? It's like so few of those, where I guess there's Cronenberg movies and stuff where I guess in a way it's gory, but like whenever it's just there as like sorry. Okay. This is about a singer, and he is very lusted after by everybody, and we see him putting on makeup, doing his performance. A very low-level singer at like an old age home. It's around Christmas time, and after the show, an old lady comes in and is like, "We love you here. You're so great. You remind us of you play our childhood songs." And then she's like, takes his hand and brings it towards her crotch, and he's like, "Jesus, not like that, lady." And then when he's leaving, a younger lady who works there is like, "We really like you. You should stay." And then it's like, "Stay. Just hug me." And you're like, okay, this guy, people like this guy. But everybody in the movie, there's kind of just an overall upsetting vibe of people lonely, like desperately lonely, seeking comfort wherever they can, and they go to some wrong places in their loneliness, as some of you might have in your past, but some probably not quite as depraved as they get in this movie. Anyway, the singer then is going on to his next performance. His car breaks down in the hills, backwoods area, like very much like Deliverance, and there's allusions to Deliverance and definitely allusions to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which also is not particularly gory. It's thought of as like a slasher movie, but it's really more psychological. I mean, even the climax of this movie has a few shots that are like, we know we're doing the Texas Chainsaw thing, but it's got meaning like Texas Chainsaw did, and even more, this has even more meaning and pathos, as they say, in the characters. Because he breaks down, he goes to Bartel's Inn, and we learn that he also was an entertainer. He was a comedian, and his wife was a singer, and she left. And then he's like, okay, cool. And then he goes for a walk, the singer, and finds some townspeople, and they're having sex with like a cow and a pig, and you're like, okay, everybody's fucking crazy. I gotta get out of here. Gets back, and he's like, I hope you didn't go into town. All those people are crazy. He's like, yeah, all right. Can we just like get out of here? He's like, I'll get your van fixed. And then he burns his van, and you're like, oh no, Mr. Bartel thinks that the singer, Mark Stevens, that's his stage name, is his wife, Gloria. And it's done in a nice way. It's not nice at all, but it's done in a nice slow build way. There's a lot of scenes that I could see audiences very like checking out, because there are a few scenes that you might consider boring. Mainly a sequence where Bartel goes through all of Steven's stuff in his van, and we like learn information. But it's really to show the desperation and how the character of Bartel is really lonely. I'm just saying the same things over and again. Sorry. But those little details, and then in the reverse, Mark gets to go into the comedian's room, Bartel's room, and kind of go through his stuff. And then they have a long dinner conversation where you get the humanity of both characters. Things like that, I think, are not necessarily the mainstream way of going about it. This movie's not trying to be mainstream, but I could see people who are just looking for, like, because it looks like it's going to be just a slasher movie, and it's much more psychological. Yeah, I don't want to give anything else away, but everybody in the town is upsetting. And it's got a handful of, like, really remarkable shots that make you go, okay, this person had a limited budget, but they knew when to spend the money, when to get the $1 million. Like, quite literally, I feel like that a few of those shots probably cost $100,000 just for that single shot. I'm probably wrong, but just like a few shots where it, like, goes up and through the ceiling and stuff. It was shot, I think, in 16, it looks like, and then maybe Super 16. I think it was probably, well, and then blown up to 35 anamorphic, I think, because it looks pretty crazy. It almost looks like video because it's pretty grainy, like you get when you shoot in regular 16 and then blow it up. Anyway, yeah, I think it's remarkable. And there's another shot that goes through the car windshield. None of that's it's all done subtle. There's no over the top. There's no music in the movie. There's no score. I guess there's like a violin at the very end. And I guess if you count a song that somebody plays on the piano where they're basically just banging the keys and then playing like a discordant jam. I'm trying to think of the word. Discordant little tune. Yeah, but I just recommend it if you can find it. It's probably on Shudder. I have the DVD because I'm a special boy, and it came in a little. Look at that. It could look like I'm taking it right off the page, right? Like here, let me just grab that poster. Wonk. All right, that's stupid, Joe. Let me read the back of the box to you. More disturbing and transgressive than anything you'll see in other recent horror. An unsettling showcase of some truly disturbing behavior. Splendidly creepy. That's not what I would say. In the tradition of Psycho, Deliverance, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Anyway, it's really good. I like it. I really want to just mention how much I like it. And it might be in my top, like, 25, definitely top 50 horror movies. Because you're not going to stumble upon this. And even if you do, you might look up reviews, and the reviews are poor. And I'm just telling you, it gets under your skin, this movie. Okay. Anyway, you can like and subscribe if you're into that kind of thing. Oh, good, it's not working. Once it goes live, it just stops working. That's great. I'm gonna obsessively push it 50 times and see if it breaks. Sorry. Okay, there you go. Like and subscribe. I wouldn't if I were you. What did I learn? Yeah, is that you got to set your tone immediately from like the first second of the film. You're like, something's wrong here, just by the lighting. You're like, something. There's an uneasy feeling. And even the way he's lit on stage when he comes out and does a performance, it's like, oh, this is going to go dark. And he looks so spiffy in comparison to everything around him. And you just know that he's going to look like friggin' Daniel Plainview by the end, dragging himself through the dirt. It is rad. Anyway, take it easy. Have a good weekend. Talk to you. A domani.